Hi guys, I'm Marta, welcome to my channel and to this new video. Anyways, basically I'm just going to talk about some good summer book recs and my TBR for summer, which I probably won't read because I'm such a movie reader. I never follow TBRs, but I just love making them, you know, just like having books on my radar. So we're just going to get into it because I don't want this video to be too long. Let's start with the summer book recs. Let's go into my summer book recs. These are books that just give me like summer vibes, or I think that they are great to read in summer. You know, for me summer equals, you know, reading at the pool and at the beach, and for that I want fun books that are not too hard to read. You know, they are quick and easy. So let's get into them. Okay, my first recommendation, it is Anne of the Green Gables. This book is just like summer and spring for me, and the cover also gives that vibe, I think. And this is a really well-known classic. We basically follow Anne, who is an orphan, and she gets adopted, and we follow her life. And the descriptions of nature are amazing. So yeah, first book. I need to be like rapid fire talking about all these books because I have 25. I have my computer here. Yeah, I have 25 books to talk about, so I'm just going to be like really quick. Okay, then Metal Slinger. This has been my life since I read it in March, I think, or in April, and the second book is coming out now, like in a couple of days. So that's really exciting. And this is a romantasy, really quick. Part of the book takes place in the ocean, so that for me equals summer. I don't have anything else to say, like it's just summer for me. We follow this character who is a warrior, and she goes to this market, and in there she has a bad encounter with an enemy soldier, who later follows her to her home, to the kingdom in which she lives. That's what you need to know. Okay, the third is going to be Love Redesigned. Well, the trilogy, Lake from Billionaire, Lake from, don't know the name of the trilogy, but this is Billionaire romance. It has 3 books. It is like an interconnected standalone series, and each one has a different trope, and they're really fun and addictive books, so perfect for the summer. Okay, if you want to read a standalone fantasy, which we all know it is not common, you should read A Fragile Enchantment. This is basically, okay, this girl gets to design and make the wardrobe for like the royal wedding. However, she starts hanging out and being close with the groom, which is the prince, and there is like a gossip column, you know, like in Bridgerton, that starts talking about them. That's what you need to know. It was really fun, short, quick, like fantasy that is just one book. Is not all common, so it is a good in-between fantasy book. Okay, the next one, you probably have heard already about this, but I had to mention it, and that is the Windy City series. I don't know why this gives me summer vibes, but it does. Mostly the third and fourth book, Got Up and Play Along. And this is an interconnected standalone series in which each book follows a different couple. Okay, the first book follows a flight attendant and one of the players. The second book, it is like my best friend's brother trope, and they have to live together. Then we have Got Up, which is, she is his kid's nanny. And the fourth one, Fake Marriage, which I'm a sucker for. And the fifth book, it is Childhood Friends to Lovers. Yeah, they are all really fun. And I don't know why a sport romance always gives me summer vibes. Like, no reason whatsoever. Just like the vibes. Then we have Is a Love Story. This book, it is short, quick romance. and it basically follows this girl who basically lies and says, oh, this guy that I used to know is going to make the soundtrack for this movie. So she goes to talk to that guy all together with a co-worker or something like that. And yeah, it's just fun romance. And I do love the books of this author, like they are really quick. I always read them in one sitting while at the beach. Okay, then have This Summer Will Be Different by Cara Bastone. Basically, all of her books give summer vibes, and the title has summer. So that's all you need to know. But basically, it is about this girl who every summer goes to stay with her best friend's family or her best friends at the beach house, and she basically the brother of the best friend is always around. They have some tension and they hook up in the past without knowing who the other was. So yeah, and then continue talking with Cara Bastone. I have One Golden Summer. There's also like the TV show coming out. It is not about this book, it is about the first one, which is like interconnected standalone. And this book was amazing. I didn't love the first one. Well, I did not like it at all, to be honest. But this one was amazing. It basically follows this girl who took this photo when she was younger, and years later she comes back to this house and she meets Charlie, who he is. Yeah, he's one of the guys in the photo. And yeah, they start hanging out. And basically it's fun romance. I enjoyed it so much, and it also has the word summer in the title. Yes. Okay, this book maybe only gives me summer vibes because I actually read it last summer, but I don't know. It's an amazing book, so you should read it. And it is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Basically, this book talks about her life, her 20s, and it was amazing. I related so much to so many things. Like, it is highlighted all throughout the book. Everything that I was like, oh my god, that's so me, I did highlight it. Okay, and it is not summer without the queen, Emily Henry. She is amazing. I would recommend all of her books, honestly. Beach Read has the word beach in the title, so you can see my line of thoughts. That one is not my favorite. I know, unpopular opinion, I know people love it. I'm not one of those people. But yeah, basically they used to know each other at university. They weren't friends whatsoever. And years later, she goes to this house and he lives really close. And because she's in a writer block, they decide to exchange genres. Both of them are authors, by the way. So yeah, they exchange genres and they write a book, each one. And then obviously people will meet on vacation. It is a book about these two friends that every year they go on a vacation. And 2 years ago something happened. They haven't talked since, but they decide to take another vacation. You know, summer equals vacation. That's my line of thought. Then Happy Place, my favorite Emily Henry book. This one was amazing. This is a bit more heavy than the others, I would say, but it basically follows Harriet and Wynne. They used to be together and they broke up, but they have not told their friends. So the friend group always organize like this trip, and they have to, you know, fake everything. They have to pretend that they're still together. Yeah, love this. Okay, if you see like an angle change or whatsoever, it's because my camera died, so yeah, basically. But let's continue talking about the queen herself with funny story. Basically in this we follow this girl whose fiancé goes to her and says like, okay, I'm going to be with my best friend instead. Yep. And who is the best friend? You're asking? His girlfriend. Yes. So yeah, they are both heartbroken, they have been dumped, and they decide to move together because she doesn't have any other place to stay. and they become friends, and yeah, it was amazing. Love it so much. Okay, then by Emily Henry, obviously we have also Book Lovers and Great Big Beautiful Life, but those, they gave me summer vibes, but not as much. But yeah, just know that these are also good summer books. Okay, then I had to talk about my queen, one of my favorite romance authors, and that is Miss Elena Armas. And I have 4 books to recommend. Well, I have 2 in reality, but they are part of interconnected standalone series. So, the obvious summer romance, it is The Spanish Love Deception. It is about this girl who is from Spain, same as me, and lives in America, and she has to go back to Spain to attend her sister's wedding, and she needs a date for that. So basically, Aaron Blackford, who is a co-worker with whom she doesn't get along, he's like, I will be your date to the wedding, and yeah, they go to Spain. I think this is like such a summary book. And this has like a second part which follows her best friend and her cousin, which is the American Roommate Experience, but this doesn't give me like summer vibes. It is more like autumn, but yeah. And then I have this interconnected standalone duology, and we have, oh my god, there's like so much noise outside, so I hope you can hear me well and note that. But yeah, we have The Long Game and The Fiancé Dilemma. Basically in this one, she goes to this small town to work, to basically coach a football team or something like that. And in there she meets Cameron, who was a goalkeeping legend. And yeah, they meet and they live really close to each other. You can see where I'm going. And the one that really gives me summer vibes, it is The Fiancé Dilemma. Maybe it is because of the spread ages, because I don't know if this takes place in summer, but basically it is about this girl who has been engaged 4 times. So yeah, she never gets to the altar, and she's a bit sick of that, because you know it's been all over social media and all that. But this guy basically says, okay, we should fake an engagement. Yeah. Okay, then let's go back to a bit of fantasy. You know, I love reading fantasy books during summer because I have more brain, you know, to pay attention to details. So yeah, I have this book series, which is, oh my god, this is a bit heavy. This Oil and the Lights. Well, I think the name of the series is The Secret of Shanghai, series by Chloe Gunn, but we have 2 duologies basically. This Oil and the Lights, which is the first duology, and it consists of This Oil and the Lights and Our Violent Ends, and this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and it's about like a monster who is attacking Shanghai, and it takes place in like 1926 or something like that. And this is like fun and all that, and I love these books, but the ones that give me summer vibes are like this second connected duology, which is Full Lady Fortune and Full Heart Huntsman. This, I don't know why it gives me summer vibes, but basically we follow spies and they have to get married to, you know, have a cover, I guess, and it is so fun. But you have to read the first duology, so that's why I mentioned also This Light and the Lights. Last year during summer I read my favorite book of the year, I would say, which is Lovely War, and this is like a bit of history, like historical fiction, but with magical realism. We follow these 2 couples during the First World War and their love stories, and we get to know these 2 stories because of Aphrodite, who is telling the story to Ares and Phaestus, I think that's how you pronounce it, not sure, during the Second World War. And it was amazing, let me tell you, like, I cried so much. I love these types of books, like Divine Rivals, Lovely War, you know, that vibe. Then I also have Never Thought I'd End Up Here, which is basically a YA romance, and this girl, her parents make her go into this like intensive travel program during 2 weeks, because she needs to like reconnect with her culture and the language that her parents and grandparents speak. And in there, guess who is also attending? Her classmate, who she doesn't like at all. Yeah, it is, yes. I love YA romances, like they are so fun and quick, and I love when they don't get along, because when it is like a more like adult romance, this like hating each other doesn't make that much sense for me. But when it is like 17-year-old, yeah, like that is so typical. It's like holding the grudge. I can see like more realistic, basically. Okay, then I have the Rosebud Game, which is like a romantasy, and which is basically a competition for the prince hunt. That's all you need to know. It was really fun. The cover is like so pretty also, and the second book has come out. I think it's a duology, so yeah, I need to pick up the second book. Yeah, it was like so fun, so fun. Okay, another book with summer in the title. Summer in the City by Alice Axter. This is also a quick summer romance. It takes place in New York during summer, and it is basically about this screenwriter who is beginning a blog, and she needs to write a story for September or something like that, or for the end of summer. So basically she starts working with her neighbor, who is a billionaire with whom she hooked up 2 years ago. Basically they just explore the city together for her to be able to write. Okay, this next one is a second chance romance, which I typically don't like, but this was really good, and that is The Ex-Vows. Okay, basically it's about this couple who broke up years ago, and they told everyone that they end up like good, that they still get along and all of that. So their best friend, who's getting married, asked them for help to, you know, organize the wedding and all of that. So yeah, they have to be really close, you know, it's forced proximity and all of that, and I ate that up. Like, it was so fun. Then I also have Wildfire. This is the second book in like the Icebreaker series, but I wanted to mention this one because it takes place like in a camp. They are like monitors in a camp, like a summer camp, so it was really fun. I did not love it like the book. There was like too much spice for my liking, but you know, it has the summer setting. Okay, then because the new Spider-Man movie is coming out, maybe you want to read a superhero book that gives like a bit of summer vibes. That is Renegades. I don't know why this gives me summer vibes in reality, but I read them in summer, so maybe that's why. But it follows these two people who have superpowers, and she is part of the villains team and he is part of the superheroes team. So really fun. And last but not least, I have Carissa is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I was gonna say Evelyn Hugo, no, that's the name of another of her books. But this is about tennis, and we follow Carissa, who was like the biggest player, and she had all these like records and all that, and she has retired already, but this girl is trying to take her place and breaking her record, so she decides to go back. And yeah, because it is going to be like Wimbledon really soon, I think it's like the perfect moment to read this book. So that's it for my book recs. After all those book recs, let's go into my actual TBR for this summer. A bit of a disclaimer, I tend to go into books blindly, so I know next to nothing of the majority of these books, but it is okay, it is fine. I have 16 books on my TBR, or 17, not sure, so yeah, let's start. Okay, the first book on my TBR is No Matter What by Cara Bastone. I read one of her previous books, Ready or Not, and it was okay for me, but this one sounds really interesting because it is about an actual couple. They have been married and there was like an accident and now they have to reconnect or something like that, so really fun and a bit of a unique concept, I would say. So amazing. Okay, the next one is out of my comfort zone, to say the least, and that is Hello Beautiful by Napolitano. I don't know anything about this. It is like literary fiction and it explores like family dynamics, if I'm not mistaken. But that's I don't know, but I don't know, like the cover intrigues me and the title, I want to understand that. So yeah. Then I have a book that has been all over my For You page on TikTok and on YouTube, and that is Into the Blue by Brodie. And this is like literary fiction with romance, I think, and it follows these two persons who became friends and like they worked together like in cinema or practice together, something like that, and years later they have been cast for the same movie. I think that's like more or less what the plot is about, but I'm not that sure. It's like a second chance romance. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but like everyone loves this book, so I'm really curious. Okay, then I have to read a book by Carley Fortune. It wouldn't be a summer without it, and she just released a month ago or some weeks ago Our Perfect Storm, which is basically they are best friends and they haven't spoke in a while, but he is the best man at her wedding. So he comes, but she is basically done by her fiance. So they decide to take the honeymoon together. It sounds so fun. I'm full of drama and tension. I know I'm going to eat that shit up. Okay, the next one I have physical copy, and that is Anne of Ingleside, Rainbow Valley, and Rilla of Ingleside, which are the last 3 books in the Anne of the Green Gables series. And yeah, I just want to finish the series, and I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun. I just want to know how it ends and see them as adults and all of that. So this one. Okay, then I have this Someday Guardian by Ashley Poston. This is, well, her books are all like romance with a bit of magical realism, which I'm a sucker for, and I'm not that sure what this one is about. I haven't tried to look up the magical realism aspect because I want to be surprised. I want to go in blindly. So yeah, I just know it is a romance, and I do love her books. Like The 7 Years Sleep is one of my favorite romances of all time, for sure. Then I have another romance, which is How to Write a Love Story by Katherine Walsh. This is basically about this girl whose father died, and her father was like a famous fantasy author, and she basically needs to complete or continue writing his last book in his fantasy series, and for that this editor comes and helps her. So yeah, I'm really excited. I love books in which there is like a bookish plot and it's going to be forced proximity. They're going to have to work together, and I know they're going to be like so much tension. So I'm really excited. I just love the cover, the colors and everything. Okay, then this one I'm not that sure about reading it. That is The Night We Met by Jimenez. Okay, like I did not like the first book in the current standalone series, which is The Night We Remember or something like that. Don't remember the name actually, but I did not like it at all. And this one, I don't like the trope. Basically, she is dating this guy, okay, but like the romance and all that, or she likes or whatever, her boyfriend's best friend. I don't know how that's going to work in the book, because I'm not rooting for them, like there's no way, like oh my god. So yeah, I'm curious obviously, but I'm not that sure. I also don't think I'm going to like it because of that reason. Then I have The Shippers by Katherine Center. This is like set in a cruise, if I'm not mistaken, and there's nothing that gives me more summer vibes than that. Yeah, it's basically like she wants to hook up with someone or something like that, and she asks her best friend to be her wingman, but I guess she likes her best friend, or he likes her, something like that. So it's really fun, and I know it to be some jealousy and tension. And last, in the romance category of my TBR, I have If I Could Give You the Moon by Liang, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce her name, and I love this author. She writes, well, I already recommended one of her books in this video, but she writes a YA romance, and I always eat them up. And I don't know anything about this one, but I do love her characters and the plotlines that she makes, and her books just read so fast. I'm just so excited. Okay, then also out of my comfort zone, I have The Bright Years by Damoff. This is a book that I've seen many things about it, but I don't know what it is about. I think it deals with family dynamics, and people really love it and say it like really hits hard, and it is so beautiful, and I think people cry a lot. So I want to read it. I want to suffer like them. I want to understand them. Okay, the next book, it is also out of my comfort zone, and that is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Dinniman. And this book, I'm going to read what is on Goodreads, because I don't know how to explain it otherwise. You know what's worse than breaking up with your girlfriend? Being stuck with her prize-winning cat. And you know what's worse than that? An alien invasion, the destruction of all man-made structures on Earth, and the systematic exploitation of the survivors for sadistic intergalactic game show. That's what. It sounds really fast. Yeah? It sounds really fun. And it's been all over my For You page. So I'm excited. And I think they are on Kindle Unlimited, which is amazing. Okay, the next one, I have a physical copy, which, as you can see, is not difficult for me. But that is the Mistborn trilogy by Sanderson. I have already read the first one last summer, but I don't remember much. So I'm going to reread the first one, called Mistborn, I think, and read the other two. But this is basically, I'm going to put them on the floor because they are heavy. This is basically a fantasy in which the magic system is metals, which is so freaking interesting. And it is the typical like quest, or like a group of outcasts trying to destroy the empire and change the world, all that. But I always eat this shit up, and the first book, it was amazing. I love it so much, so I'm so excited to continue with the series and reread the first one. Okay, only 3 more books left. I have Half City by Kate Golden. This is about a demon hunter who enters an academy for demon hunters, and she has secrets, and I don't know, it is in an academy setting, and I'm a sucker for that. I love it. I don't know why. I really like being there, like no way, but I just love reading about it. So I'm really excited, and also seeing great reviews about this, so that's amazing. My camera is doing strange things. Okay, then I have Wielder by Schneider, something like that, which is the second book in the Metal Slinger duology, which I already talked about, and I'm so excited to read this book. It is not out yet. I looked it up, and it comes out the 16th of June, if I'm not mistaken. So really excited, like I'm not going to be reading it when it comes out, like for sure. Amazing. And last but not least, I have Diabound by Sable Sorensen, something like that. And this is about a girl who enters like some trials. And that's what I know, but that's what I need to know, because I love a book with trials and games. So really exciting. So yeah, that is my TBR for this summer and my book recommendations for this summer. I really hope you enjoy it, and if you have read any of these books, like we can maybe chat in the comments. But yeah, I will see you on the next video really soon, hopefully, which will be my London vlog, because I'm going to London in 2 days. So maybe some of the books that I mentioned on my TBR, I might buy them, depends on like how many I can find. But yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!